know what a pea is?
A tiny pea.
Is it a piece of steak?
No.
Is it a banana split cake?
Yeah. No.
Is it a bowl of ice cream?
Yeah.
No.
It's a pom-pom.
A pea is a vegetable. Has anybody ever eaten pea? It's like a bean. It's like the little round part inside of a bean.
It's a pea that's green and they had a lot of pie.
Have you ever eaten peas and carrots? Fisher, keep your hands down, please. Peas and carrots are delicious.
Yep, and I ate peas and that was with salt.
I love them.
And I had peas with corn.
Okay, so let's listen to this story. I wonder what happens with the princess and the pea. Huh. That's an interesting combination. Here's the title page. The Princess and the Pea. Look at her sleeping on this bed with all of these mattresses. That is a very tall bed.
She can't get down.
I don't know how she got up there, but she did.
Maybe he flies.
Do you think that would be a soft and cushy place to sleep? Don't you think that would be comfortable?
Yeah.
That's the queen. That's not her mom, but that is the queen. Okay, let's read. We'll figure this out. Okay, so once upon a time, there was a lonely prince. He lived in a big castle with beautiful rooms and a pretty garden. But he wasn't happy because he didn't have someone special to share them with. If only I could find a lovely princess to marry, sighed the prince. He was looking for a best friend to come live with him in his castle and share his garden. The king and the queen did their best to help. They held balls so the prince could meet princesses from all the nearby kingdoms. The prince danced with tall princesses and small princesses. He talked to loud princesses and proud princesses. He met all kinds of princesses, but none of them was quite right. He was looking for someone special. Queen's not right there. Those are just all the princesses. After a while, the king and the queen ran out of princesses for their son to meet. Maybe it's time you went looking for a bride, suggested the queen. So the prince packed the bag, saddled his horse, and waved goodbye to the king and queen. Good luck, said the king. Come back soon. So the prince traveled far and wide and searched high and low for the princess of his dreams.
Why do you always do that, babe?
Along the way, he met lots of lovely princesses. Princess Grace loved to dance, but her twirling made the prince dizzy. Princess Ginger loved to cook, but her cakes made the prince chubby. Princess Flora loved to smell as pretty as a flower, but her perfume made the prince sneezy. Achoo! Maybe I'm just too fussy, thought the prince. But in his heart, he knew he hadn't met the princess of his dreams, so he headed back to the castle. When he got home, the king and the queen greeted the prince happily. I haven't found a princess yet, he sniffed sadly. I guess I never will. He still hasn't met his best friend. Don't be silly, said the queen. The right girl will come along soon. That night, there was a terrible storm. Thunder boomed so loudly that it rattled the castle's windows. Rat-a-tat-tattle. Lightning shook the table as the prince and his parents sat down to eat their dinner. The prince was about to help himself to dinner when suddenly they all heard a loud Knock on the door. Someone was knocking on the door. Who could be visiting us on such a night like this, said the queen. Because it was raining and thunderstorming outside. Who would be out in the rain?
I think Wayne wants to ask the princess.
Do you think there's a princess at the door?
No, maybe the sun are making the door pretty. I think there's a princess.
Let's see. Oh! The prince opened the door and found a very wet girl standing there. Raindrops ran down her muddy cloak, making a puddle at her feet. Drip, drop, drip, drop. The girl pushed back her hood and wild curls tumbled out. "Hello," she said with a smile. "I got lost on my way home and wondered if I could stay here for the night. My name is Princess Polly." She didn't look much like a princess, but princes must always be polite, so the prince invited her inside. Soon the princess was warm and dry. Do you think this could be his best friend?
No.
Let's see.
Yeah, I know.
She seems nice. All night long rain fell, plippity-plop, plippity-plop on the castle roof. But the prince hardly noticed because he was too busy talking to Princess Polly. She was very pretty and funny and kind. Princess Polly was everything the prince had hoped to find in a princess. By the end of the evening, the prince had fallen in love. Oh, kind of like your mommies and daddies.
My mommy.
But the queen wanted to be sure that the girl was really a princess. The queen told the servants to pile a bed high with mattresses. They heaved one on top of another until they had no more mattresses left. Then they placed a pillow and a quilt right at the top. So you can see here, they keep putting more mattresses up there for the princess to sleep on. Underneath the mattress at the very bottom, the queen placed a teeny tiny pea right at the bottom. Only a real princess would be able to feel something so small through all of those mattresses. So the queen did that. The queen wanted to make sure that the princess was really a princess. So she put a pea at the bottom of the mattresses. And if Polly goes to bed at night and she has a hard time sleeping because she can feel that tiny pea at the bottom of the mattresses, that means she's a real princess. If she sleeps all night and doesn't feel a thing, that means she's not a real princess. I hope she is. Okay. So when the queen showed Princess Polly to her bedroom, the girl gazed up at the tower of mattresses, but didn't say anything. She was just grateful to have a bed for the evening. "Good night," said Princess Polly. "Sleep tight," whispered the queen. Then Princess Polly changed into her nightgown and climbed right to the top of the pile of mattresses. And she snuggled under the quilt for the night. I wonder if she got a good night's sleep.
So,
Let's see.
exactly, who's the princess?
What?
Who is this?
Who's the princess? Polly.
Oh.
She's the princess. Okay, let's see if she got a good night's sleep. The next morning, Princess Polly came down to breakfast with dark circles under her eyes. She let out a great big yawn. Oh.
This is dress.
"How did you sleep, my dear?" asked the queen. Princess Polly burst into tears. "I'm afraid I couldn't sleep a wink. There was something lumpy and bumpy in my bed. It kept me awake all night long." What do you think kept her awake all night long. The tiny pea at the bottom of all of those mattresses. Do you think she felt that tiny pea at the bottom of all those thick mattresses?
Yep.
That means she's a real princess. Do you think that's going to make the queen and the prince happy? Yeah, because they're looking for a real princess, right? So, to Princess Polly's surprise, the queen clapped her hands with delight. Whoop! Clapped her hands with delight. I can't wait to see what happens next. She is a real princess, cried the queen. The prince was overjoyed. Will you marry me, Princess Polly? He asked. Yes, squealed the princess. And they lived happily ever after. The end. So did the prince finally find his best friend? Yeah, he found his best friend, Princess, and they